dietitian and science ambassador here from Tetrogen, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. Today's topic is about protein, which is one of the 3 macronutrients. And just a reminder, a macronutrient is a nutrient we need in large amounts compared to micronutrients like vitamins and minerals, which we need in very small amounts. The 3 macronutrients are protein, fat and carbohydrates, and you can check out the videos for the other 2 macronutrients, so carbohydrates and fats, in the links below. Okay, so what exactly is a protein? So a protein is made up of building blocks called amino acids. So here I have a diagram here. Each circle or each dot represents an amino acid, and then combined they make up a protein. And proteins have many roles in the body. Some proteins transport nutrients around the body, like hemoglobin transports oxygen in the blood. Some proteins help to speed up chemical reactions in the body. For example, the enzyme lipase helps to break down fats. And some are involved in the structure of living things. For example, collagen in your skin gives it that elasticity. Anyways, a group of amino acids make up a protein, and amino acids can be split into 2 subgroups. So we have the non-essential amino acids and we have the essential amino acids. So the non-essential amino acids, they can be made by the body by just slightly modifying other amino acids. So essentially we can adjust the amino acids we have to get what we need in the body, so we don't need to worry about them too much. And then we have essential amino acids which we can't make in the body, so as a result we need to get them directly from food. So how do we know if we're getting all the essential amino acids that we need? Let's have a look. So proteins are not created equally, and one of the ways that we can assess how well we absorb the proteins is by using a scale, and that is called biological value of a protein. This ranges from 0 to 100, but usually proteins are referred to as either having a high biological value or a low biological value. So when a food contains all of the essential amino acids, it's called a complete protein because it has the complete set of essential amino acids, and that's known as having a high biological value. So this includes things like meats, fish, poultry, eggs and soy. In contrast to the high biological value, when a food is missing one or more of the essential amino acids, it's an incomplete protein because it doesn't have the full set of essential amino acids. So that's the low biological value protein, and this includes plant foods like whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds and vegetables. So naturally you might think that the high biological value proteins are better for you because they contain all of the essential amino acids in the one food, but this isn't necessarily the case because the foods, not all of them, but a lot of the foods that have a high biological value also have a lot of saturated fat, which is bad for your heart health. Processed meat like sausages, for example, they've been classed as a type 1 carcinogen by the World Cancer Research Fund, and red meat has been classed as a type 2 carcinogen, so I definitely would watch out for those. But since the low biological value proteins are missing or are low in one or more of the essential amino acids, how do we get enough of those? So it used to be thought that people eating mainly a diet consisting of low biological value proteins, so plant-based or vegetarian or vegan diet, needed to pair their proteins so they would complement each other or make up a complete protein. A classic example of this would be rice and beans, where beans are lower in the amino acids tryptophan and methionine, and then the rice is low in lysine, and then combined the beans and rice make up a complete protein, you can say. However, this is not the case anymore. We now know that you don't need to pair your proteins at every single meal, as long as you eat a variety of the plant-based or the low biological value foods, so rice, beans, other whole grains, legumes, greens, nuts and seeds. If you're eating enough calories, then your protein needs should be met over the course of the day, which includes all of your essential amino acids. And protein has become somewhat of a buzzword recently, So apart from lots of new protein powders being available on the market, there are foods being advertised as high protein foods that wouldn't usually be classed as high protein foods. So this would be things like cereals, bars, and even ice cream. So there are pros and cons to this. For example, if somebody isn't able to eat enough food, so therefore isn't able to meet their protein needs, then that would be beneficial. However, most of these foods are highly processed, so not necessarily that healthy for us. And the truth is that most of us get more than enough protein by eating our regular diet without eating the foods that contain the extra protein. So I have 3 examples here of 3 kind of types of humans. So the first little human here is the average human. So that's what most of us are. And we only need 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per kilo of our body weight. Okay, so for an average kind of human of 70 kilos, that equals to 56 to 70 grams of protein per day. And the amount of protein you need increases depending on the type of exercise you do, and also in a hospital setting, a lot of the time you need more protein depending on your condition, but we won't get into that in this video. So human number 2 is an endurance athlete. So he or she does lots of marathons, maybe lots of running. It would be mostly cardio related. So this human here would need 1.2 to 1.4 grams of protein per kilo body weight per day. And the last little human here is a strength athlete lifting a barbell over his or her head. And this little human would need between 1.2 and 1.7 grams of protein per kilo body weight per day, and sometimes more depending on this person's level of activity. Now, there is so much more I could say about protein, but I'll end it here for the purpose of this video. So let's sum this all up. So protein is a key part of our diets. It has many functions in the body. It's made up of building blocks called amino acids, some of which are essential, meaning that you have to get them directly from food because your body just can't make them like it can with non-essential amino acids. And proteins can be divided into high and low biological value proteins. High meaning that it contains all the essential amino acids, and low meaning that it's missing at least one of the essential amino acids. But eating a variety of foods throughout the day should get you all of the essential amino acids that you need. So why not try and exercise at home? Why don't you track your food for a few days, and you can do that in a food tracking app of your choice that you can get for free on most app stores, and see if you're getting enough protein or if you're getting too much protein. And remember that for most of us, all we need is 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per kilo body weight if you're not really doing much exercise. So I hope you learned something from this video. Please check out the other 2 videos about carbs and fats too, and I will see you in the next one.